You know what sound that is, folks. You betcha. It's another ElkWorks Noon Whistle. I'm Chris Trottier.
And I'm
who
Jon
are
and
you?
And do you know where I am today, Chris?
No.
I'm at Palmer Hamilton, and we're going to see if we can find Preston Gardner, one of the owners.
All right, let's go find him.
All right, let's go see if we can find him.
Ooh, that's a nice door.
It is a nice door. We're going to enter in the lunchroom here, so we'll see if we can find him, maybe taking a little break.
Well, he works hard as a chief operating officer.
He does. He does. Well, let's see. I think maybe he's down. Oh, I think I see him. Hey, Preston.
Yep. Put the Funyuns down.
Hey, to the Noon Whistle.
I'm excited for it. How are you guys doing?
We're good. We're good. Chris, I'm going to flip over here.
All right.
And hang at the table a little bit with Preston here. You got any questions for him before we get started with the big tour?
Yeah, let's. I mean, I know they've made some recent acquisitions. A lot's going on there. Why doesn't Preston give us a little, just like kind of update, couple-minute update on not only what's happening at Palmer Hamilton, but also kind of like what are we going to see on this tour?
Yeah, of course, no problem. So updates from a Palmer Hamilton standpoint, yeah, we had a very busy year last year. We made 2 acquisitions. I believe my first time on the Noon Whistle was talking about Respawn. I know you've talked to some of our team members, Jeff Palumbo being one of them, since then. So, you know, Respawn was one of the acquisitions we made, and then another outdoor furnishings company down in Flat Rock, North Carolina. So thankfully, right outside where the hurricane did a lot of damage, but we made it through okay.
That's good.
And then,
I was hoping I didn't see you on 60 Minutes on Sunday.
Exactly. No, there was, you know, it was outside a lot of the path of destruction.
Okay.
So power's back up. All the families are down there working again. So they were fortunate to be out of the path of the worst of it. But other than that, you know, moving into this year, we've been, you know, just segueing off of that busy year last year and establishing a solid foundation for these new businesses, incorporating the esports into everything we do here at Palmer Hamilton. Doing a nice esports offering, bringing those spaces to K-12 institutions, just like we're going to be doing for Elkhorn here very shortly. I know you guys shared that, so we're very
excited.
We're excited to be doing that over the Christmas holiday, actually doing that install. So all the artwork like you see behind me actually has arrived just last week. So
Nice.
We'll be prepping for that installation coming here in a few weeks.
Chris, this is amazing, and I don't know if many people, maybe they do, I hope they do, know that what Palmer Hamilton and Respawn do and all the amazing things that they give back to our community and our schools.
Yeah, I mean, Preston just referenced the amazing donation for our esports lab at the high school, which was a cool $25,000 to turn that space from a traditional classroom into a modern state-of-the-art esports facility. And we appreciate that investment and super excited about what that space is going to look like.
Yeah, no, we are very excited as well, and you know we'll be excited to get the installation done and really showcase it more than just on paper. So you mentioned being part of the community. You know, that's something we take really seriously. We employ over 225 people here in this building, many of which you'll see today on our operations tour, that are really, you know, are members of the community, and we're really looking to hire our next workforce from the community as much as possible. There's a lot of career pathways here. You'll see some technically focused skill sets as well, from, you know, robotic welding to CNC operations to powder coating, and to plasma cutting as well, fiber optic laser cutting as well. So a lot of different operations that we do here under this roof, which employs a lot of different skill sets in the community.
Well, Chris
and John, I don't know if you
got it. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say, we were pretty excited. We invited Palmer Hamilton over to the high school welding and manufacturing space, and they donated some stock for our kids in our welding 3 class to learn how to weld not on flat but on tubular pipes. So that's been going really well. So thank you for that donation. And then what else was I going to say? Oh, and I just know that I was going to say that you talked about the people being the core of your business. Palmer Hamilton also has been employing youth apprentices in the last 2 years. So I will actually be over there to meet with one of our YAs right now. So it's been a great opportunity and a great partnership and just a great family business to work with.
I think it's safe to say they're here for the people. And Preston has offered to take us on a little tour through the I don't want to call it, it's not a factory because it's way more than that. Production.
Yes.
How about that?
There you go.
Manufacturing, yes.
All right, let's do it.
All right, I'm going to flip
All right.
you, and Preston's going to take us on the tour.
Okay.
Here we go.
Awesome. So we're in our cafeteria right now. This is the space that we really try to create for our customers. So you can highlight some of the custom graphics on the wall, the furnishings as well. So this is the space we try to create for our customers day in and day out within the K-12 space primarily. So eating or dining spaces is a key area for us, but also esports labs and maker spaces. And you see our birthday cupcakes. So
I was just going to say, there's cupcakes, John.
Everybody's birthday by sharing the cupcakes every month.
I'll bring one back for you, Chris.
Thank you, sir.
All right, here we go. We're rolling.
We're moving. So we're going to walk out the manufacturing floor. We've got just under 200,000 square feet under our roof. That includes, obviously, the offices as well. So we've been in this building since the late 80s. So we've grown and expanded in our utilization of it and reconfigured it a bunch and obviously renovated as well. So we're walking through a renovated space and then we'll get out on the manufacturing.
It's definitely modern. It's definitely modern. And then check out this maker space next to us as we're walking down the hall.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
So this is our makerspace and instruction lab for dealer and customer trainings. Something so critical as the business system which we operate on. We're actually going through a business system upgrade. So we're actually training all our internal employees on that new system for a go live in February, fingers crossed.
If it can be done, they're doing it.
So we're going to walk on the manufacturing floor. We're going to throw on our safety glasses as well.
Here we go.
Awesome.
All right.
So starting up front here, we've got our mission, vision, and values wall, as you can probably see. So this is really getting the entire company really attached to what we want to do as a company and what we strive to do with our customers and our employees as well. So we make it loud and proud so everybody can see it when they're going to their cafeteria, on all their breaks.
Very nice. It's all here, Chris. It's all here.
Right in Elkhorn, Wisconsin, right?
Yep. Who would know?
Awesome. So the last few years, we've done a lot of vertical integration into our business. That means investing in the capabilities that allow us to produce components for ourselves. So you're going to see a lot of that investment wide as well. So, when there's supply chain disruptions, we're less impactful to our customers since we're making so much of the product here in-house. So we're going to talk about laminate and wood processing. We're going to talk about steel cutting, forming, bending, and welding. We're going to talk about powder coating. And then finally, assembly and shipping are kind of the high-level steps of our operation. So we'll do a quick breeze through all of those key areas. So much like the components of a table, we're going to walk by our welding department, our fabrication department, but we're going to really start in the tops department since every table in a school needs a tabletop. So that's where we're going.
Chris, how is the mic volume for Preston? Is all right still?
Very good.
Okay. All right. It's going to get noisy, so you may lose the sound a little bit.
We'll do our best, that's for sure. So yeah, like I said, we've done a lot of vertical integration within our company, a lot of investment. So, this area right here is where we do some of our steel fabrication. So these are CNC laser, fiber optic lasers, and then a CNC brake press as well. So you can see a lot of the parts that we create that goes into our welds, then are produced here and go downstream into the welding department.
Chris, there is no space here that isn't filled with someone working.
We've been very blessed over the last 2 to 3 years with a lot of business. We've done some really big school districts like Long Beach, California, actually New York City as well. So we've done over 250 cafeterias in New York school system over the last 2 years. So we've been very busy fulfilling those orders.
That's amazing coming out of here. I don't know that anybody would know that.
No, the whole furnishing market is very heavily based in the Midwest. So whether that's educational furniture or contract furniture as well. So we're going to be walking into the tops fabrication department. So what you see a lot here is wood processing, laminate processing, cutting, forming. So we're taking those raw elements and we're making them into that tabletop. So that's what you're going to see here. The first step in that process is lamination. So what that means is you're taking a particle board or plywood piece of wood and you're putting laminate on both sides of it. This is where the color comes into play. So you want to use some bright and exciting colors in your school. That's where you're going to be able to do it here. So you can see the many stacks of plywood and particle board we have here. That's going to be going to the front of these next few lines you see here to be laminated.
How we doing, Chris?
Great, great.
So over here we have 3 lamination lines. So really what this process looks like is at the beginning of the process, you start with your raw cord, you bring in sheets of laminate and glue them to that core. So we're looking at the end of the process right now.
Can you see this laminator?
Yep.
So they're bringing the boards through, they're attaching the sheets of laminate. It's going through an oven right here. So that's curing the glue to the board. And then we're applying a mold release process right here at the end. Out comes your panel like you can see right here. And that panel is blue, it's blue laminate, so it's come out of the lamination line. And now we're gonna go to the next stage. We're gonna route and process these boards to be the exact size that we want. So we've got 5 CNCs in-house. They all do something a little special, a little particular. They have their areas of expertise. We'll take a look at one right here. So those boards would be coming in and then they're going to be set up on this table. Once they're up on this table, then they're going to be cut to the size or the shape that they need to be, whether that's a tabletop or a bench, or they're going to get holes put into them for the frame structure that goes to the table on the underside. So this is just one of the many CNCs we have. So again, you know, skill sets right out of high school can be done here. Some of our best operators used to be, you know, Jimmy John's employees, for example. So we really like taking people in with limited skill sets and training them up ourselves. So it's really a job that anybody can learn. So after we have a tabletop that's now been made to a size, you can see a tabletop here and some benches here. These are now going to get an edge applied to them. So you see that's the exposed wood that you have there. We don't want that. That's where moisture can get in, so we need to seal those edges off. So our most popular edge that we put on our tables is a sprayed urethane edge. So we're walking into where that's done right here. So this is a spray booth. So the stack has been rolled in there, and then we've sprayed on that edge. You can see that gray color there. So this is very much so like a truck bed liner you experience on your truck as well. So we're going to go ahead and walk through. All right. Shorty was nice enough to open the doors for us. So now we've sprayed that edge on. We get a little bit of overspray, so we've got to clean that off. So all we're doing here is scraping that excess material off of the tabletop to give a nice clean look, and we'll see that here in a minute. So now you've got a tabletop with a nice clean edge and clean lines as well. So you can see that overspray has been cleaned off, and now we've got a tabletop ready to be used in production. So now we've got a tabletop. We need a frame for our table, right?
Let's put legs on this thing.
Let's put some legs on it. So now we're going to be entering our fabrication, forming, and welding department. So essentially all the steel comes in through this door down here and then processes this way through our production facility. So one of the coolest pieces of equipment we have is a CNC tube laser. So much like the flat panel laser we saw earlier, this is a tube laser. So what this is doing is it's putting holes and features into the middle of pieces of tube. So the historical manufacturing process would be like a punch press or a die this would go into. This can literally just feed the tube into the CNC and cut these features in wherever along the part. So there's our CNC tube laser. Doing some cleaning at the moment, so not quite running anything.
All right.
So now we've cut some parts and pieces. Now we've got to weld them together. So to improve our product quality and repeatability for our customers, we've invested heavily in robotic welding. So we've got these 2 new robotic weld cells we're going to take a look at here. These both work side by side to produce complete table kits. So essentially this big red and blue part you see here are filled with table kits. So this part, when it's fully filled with all the welded parts, will produce 5 tables. So we can see both the robotic welders here that is welding on the other side there. While this is running, we would be loading or unloading these robotic welders. So we can see them unloading. So the part just came off the weld fixture while the welder's still going on in the background. So again, they'll inspect it for any quality issues, do any touch-ups. But these are the weld fixtures that we'll then put piece parts into like he's going to do right now, and then it'll go in and get welded on the other side like you see it doing behind the curtain there.
This is amazing.
Okay, well,
It's like Willy Wonka's factory with metal.
So now we've welded. We've got an entire welding operation we're going to walk through. So furniture is a very high mix, low volume business. That means we're not pumping out thousands of the same widget every day. We're making tables that are 8 feet long, 12 feet long, 27 inches high, 29 inches high. So we have a lot of different variation in our manufacturing processes. So all our welding fixtures that you see now on the manual welding side are all on wheels so that we can be flexible moving in and out from there. We've got about 26 to 27 different weld stations. We don't utilize all of them on a given day. Depends on where the volume's at for the product for that week. So now we have a bunch of raw parts and pieces. They've got to get painted. You want them to last a long time, right? So we're going to be taking all those parts and pieces and hanging complete table kits on our powder coat line. So this is the onload side of our line. And that goes into a big wash tank. So we got to clean them up too before we paint them. So this big silver stainless steel tank is a wash tank. It's a 3-stage washer with rotating nozzles to really make sure all that dirt and grime is taken off of the steel before it is painted, so we get really good paint adhesion through the powder coat process.
Chris, are you seeing all this?
I am. It looks great.
It's amazing.
So you might be able to see, if you can spin the camera in, you can see the wash system, you can see the nozzles turning in there, spraying water on the parts. Then they're coming off the line and they're going into the oven here. That's just going to dry them off. We'll want to get them dried off before we go into the powder coating process, which will be next. We're going to slide through over here.
All right.
Thank you. So here's the outflow of our powder coat process. So they're being sprayed with powder coat in that booth there. Then they're going to come out and go into the oven. That oven's 375 degrees. It's going to bake the paint on there, so it's it's adhered very well after it's gone through that oven process. And then all we're doing here is offloading parts and distributing them to the specific weld cell. So you can see that cart again that we just saw in the weld cell shows up here again after paint. This cart, the parts go back onto so that it can be ready for the assembly process. So with all of our various tables, shapes, and sizes, we have dedicated weld stations for all of them. Assembly stations for all of them. So we have various assembly stations throughout the factory here in the assembly department that cater to assembling a specific type of table. I'll show you just one assembly cell of our highest volume selling table.
Okay. There is a lot going on here, Preston.
There is a lot going on. We're busy. So this is an assembly station. You see those tabletops there? They're going to come up at the start of the assembly process there in the back, and then they're going to come up over here and then up onto the assembly table here. So this is a multi-stage assembly station where they're assembling those tables in teams of 4 people at a time.
These kind of look like your standard lunch table, right?
That is what we do here, the standard lunch table. So we do some exciting things now. So you see a round table here that's got a logo on it.
Yeah.
So then when that table is folded open, which I'll do here in a minute after he's done applying the stickers, you can see that custom logo that we do. So a lot of what we do is for our customers promote their own school spirit and pride. And we can do that through various laminate colors or logo process as well. So every one of our products goes through 100% inspection. That means as they come off the assembly station, they're going to go through an inspection to make sure they're the right size, the right shape, the right color, and also function appropriately. So each one of our products goes through that process to ensure high customer satisfaction. So here's just an example table you see here. So there's that custom logo that our customers value a lot. I'll leave it down for you so I don't knock them off.
That's impressive.
Thank you. So now we got a bunch of tables and we got to ship them, right?
Let's ship them.
So what's unique about our product is it weighs a lot. You know, one of those tables can weigh upwards of 400 pounds. So we don't always ship them on a pallet. We ship them on their wheels where we roll them on and off a truck. So much of what we ship is blanket wrap. So you'll see here in a process where we're literally just rolling those products onto a truck, wrapping them in some comfy packing blankets, and sending them on their way to the customer. Hey, Travis.
We're coming to the end of the line here, Chris. We're up to the truck.
So this is our shipping dock. So we've got trailers that back in, and then we're going to start loading them with product. So obviously these haven't been loaded yet, but we'll show some that are beginning to get filled with product. So here's an example of where it might be a little dark in there, but we've rolled the table in, and then they're strapping it to the walls for a safe ride to the destination. And
there
then
you
the
go.
table's shipped out and it's on its way to its customer.
Off to the customer. So, Chris, do you have any questions for us?
No, that was super cool. I mean, I'm always appreciative of Preston and Palmer Hamilton to open up their building and their busy schedule to our kids. But sitting back and watching it and just enjoying it as Preston's walking through, it was really, really cool to see all the stages and just see all the opportunities for our, our not only our kids through youth apprenticeships, but also our local community for employment opportunities. It was just great. And I can say this, and this is a strong testimonial. I was aware of Palmer Hamilton in 2008 or 9 because as the Wilmot principal, we ordered all of our tables from there. And I can tell you from a quality standpoint versus some of the other products and manufacturers, they stand the test of time. They're worth the investment.
We're proud of what we produce here, and I think those Wilmot photos are still on our website somewhere.
That's good.
We're certainly proud of working with local educators and local partnerships to develop those career pathways for students and just getting them in the door and educating them on what opportunities do exist. I take it for granted. I started actually in the shipping dock here loading trucks when I was 14, 15 years old. So I've been one of those team members to variously participate in different areas of the business, learning different skills of the trade. But there's a lot of different career pathways here since we do so much different types of manufacturing here in this building.
Do you realize, Chris, we went from cupcakes to the truck?
Well, I know where you're going right now.
Yeah, well,
what do you think? All right, sounds good. Thank you so much. And on that note,
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet.
Thank you, Preston. And